All right. All right. Ben. Hello, homemakers. I'm Melinda, and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. And today we're making grasshopper pie. All right, Grasshopper Pie is from Section I, Dessert Spectaculars, and it is card number 22. And what I just learned by looking it up is that Grasshopper Pie is based on a cocktail called a grasshopper, which I've never had before. But the Grasshopper Pie is basically just a mint cream pie with a chocolate crust. The one thing I'm excited for with this is that you get to melt marshmallows, which I don't think I've ever done before. So I'm intrigued by how that process will go. But otherwise, I think it's going to be pretty simple, pretty easy, pretty tasty. Let's get into it. All right, let's take a look at the ingredients. For grasshopper pie, we need 1.5 cups of chocolate wafer cookie crumbs, which I didn't know these things existed, but I found them in my grocery store. 1/4 cup of butter melted, 32 large or 3 cups of miniature marshmallows. So I have miniature marshmallows. 1/2 cup of milk, 1.5 cups of whipping cream, 1/4 cup of creme de menthe, and 3 tablespoons of creme de cacao, and a few drops of green food coloring. All right, let's get started. Okay, we need 1/4 cup of butter melted, which is 1/2 stick. Come on. So I'm gonna take this over the stove and melt it, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. My butter's melted, and we are gonna crush up some of the wafer crumbs. Now it says 1.5 cups of chocolate wafer cookie crumbs, so I don't know how many cookies is needed. Oh. So we're just gonna we're gonna start with 1/2, and then we'll take it from there. Ooh, they are already broken. What if you wanted to just eat these as wafers? They're already broken. Okay, let's start there. You also need some for the top, because you're gonna kind of sprinkle it around in a circular fashion. And I'm just gonna use a glass, I guess. Okay. Oh yeah. This is way more than 1.5 cups. I think this is as crummy as they need to be. You know, you got some bits and pieces in there, but it'll be good texture. Heat oven to 350, doing that. Mix crumbs and butter in a 9-inch pie pan. Let me tell you a little story about this pie pan that I have. I borrowed it from my friend, and it's kind of crazy looking. It appears to be a promotional item for Watkins extract, and there's a recipe for Dutch brownie pie that uses 3 types of extract: cherry, vanilla, and almond. I don't know who would make this pie. I don't know. Comment below if you want me to make this pie for another episode. But today we're going to use it for our grasshopper pie. So let's mix these crumbs. Oh, I should probably measure it. I should measure it. I shouldn't just throw it all in. Okay, I'm measuring 1.5 cups. A cup? Maybe this is 1.5 cups. That's about 1/2 cup. Cool. So I'm going to save the rest of this for our topping. I might crunch it a little bit more for the topping because you want a really fine powder. Okay, so we got 1.5 cups of crumbs in our pie tin, and I'm going to go ahead and pour in the butter, and then we'll pat it around the sides. Press firmly and evenly against the bottom and side of pan. Okay. I hope that's enough butter. Maybe they should have been more crummy. I don't have any instructions here. They didn't tell me how to crumb the crumbs. You know, there's a few gaps on the bottom that I'm not concerned about. That could be a pie crust. I am going to bake this now for 10 minutes and then let it cool. Okay, while the crust is in the oven, we are going to melt marshmallows with milk over low heat, stirring constantly. And then I guess once they're melted, we chill until thickened. So let's go over to the stove and melt some marshmallows. All right, so we need half a cup of milk. And then we need 3 cups of mini marshmallows. 1. Stir these constantly until they're melted. Okay, it seems like the marshmallows have melted completely and thickened, so I'm just gonna pour it in this bowl. Ooh. Yeah, it says melt marshmallows over low heat and then chill until thickened. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and then I'll be back. So now while I have the marshmallow milk chilling until thick and the crust cooling, I am going to beat the whipped cream until stiff. So we need 1.5 cups of chilled whipping cream. And it said the cream should be cold and the bowl should be cold. So I put the bowl in the freezer for a little bit. That's 1.5 cups. Let's beat it. I like making whipped cream from scratch. It's fun. So in a chilled bowl, we have beaten our cream until stiff. Now we're going to stir marshmallow mixture to blend, gradually stirring creme de menthe and creme de cacao. I don't know what they mean by to blend. I guess there is like a foamy part and a clumpy part. What is happening with this marshmallow mixture? 1/4 cup creme de menthe. Gradually stir in. I was supposed to gradually stir it. I did it all at once. 3 tablespoons of white creme de cacao. So I guess, yeah, there was a version of this at the liquor store that was like brown colored, aka dark creme de cacao. So I'm assuming this is white creme de cacao. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're stirring. Okay, then we're gonna fold this into the whipped cream and then we're gonna put the food coloring in. So I'm just gonna start with a little bit at a time because you don't want to deflate the cream. You want to just gradually incorporate a little by little until it's all in there. So I'm gonna maybe do like 1/3 of it. I don't know what the point of the marshmallows is because the whipped cream does all the heavy lifting here in terms of like creating a light, creamy, fluffy pie filling. I guess it's a shortcut instead of using sugar? I don't know. Or like the gelatin in marshmallows is like gonna help with the density. Okay, I don't want to overstir it, so I'm gonna just go ahead and add the food coloring. Just as a few drops. We'll start there. Where's the green? Oh, there it is. Okay, pour into baked crust and then chill for 4 hours. Let me go grab my crust. Okay, I'm going to pour this into the crust. Oh, it's so sticky. Oh yeah. Do I just put it all in? I guess I almost went for it, so I might as well just go for it. Okay. So I'm just kind of pushing it to the edge. The photo, you can tell it's like swirled towards the center. Okay, I got my offset spatula, so I'm gonna try to make a swirl in the top. I don't know if it'll even be noticeable, but. Okay, we're gonna put it in the freezer for at least 4 hours. That's a shamrock shake. That's a shamrock shake. I'm excited. All right, while the grasshopper pie is in the freezer getting cold, I thought we could do a little Betty history. So I know in previous episodes I've talked before about how the home economist team that created Betty Crocker was answering a lot of letters and doing cooking demonstrations, and Washburn Crosby Company, who eventually became General Mills, they wanted to kind of take Betty to the next level. Build on these ideas that they had started by helping women. So by 1924, something like 2.5 million Americans had radios in the home, and so they wanted to take Betty Crocker to the airwaves. And so they started their own radio company, and they hired an actress, Blanche Ingersoll, to play Betty Crocker on the radio. They decided to promote one of the women in the test kitchen to become the director of the radio show. And her name was Marjorie Child Husted. And she was kind of this bold, brassy woman, wasn't afraid to speak her mind. And she had done a lot of volunteer work in her neighborhood and her community, so she knew what women wanted, she knew what they were burdened by, what they wanted to talk about. And so she ended up writing scripts for the Betty Crocker radio program for over 20 years and was kind of the leader, director, producer of the show, and she made it what it is today. Over time, it got more and more popular, and they kind of formalized the radio show to be Betty Crocker's Cooking School of the Air. And it became a real cooking school program where women could listen every week for lessons that they could complete. And if they had a grocer certify that they completed their lessons using gold medal flour, then they could eventually graduate, get a certificate, attend a graduation ceremony over the air. Over the years, the cooking school became more and more national. Every local station would have their own actress playing Betty Crocker, but reading the same script that Marjorie wrote. And it kind of grew and grew until eventually NBC bought the rights and continued to broadcast the radio show. So previously it was about a 20-minute show once a week, and when NBC bought it, it was a 1-hour show 3 times a week. And over the 27 years that the radio show was in production, there was over 1 million alumni of the cooking school. So I think that's pretty amazing how many people Betty Crocker was able to help over the years become the best homemakers that they could be. All right, while I'm waiting for the grasshopper pie to freeze, I thought I could make a grasshopper because I've never had one, and I have all the ingredients right here. So it's basically just equal parts cream, creme de menthe, and creme de cacao. I'm not going to use cream, I'm going to use oat milk because I'm a millennial and I'm also lactose intolerant. Okay, so I have my chilled glass. I'm going to put this into the cocktail shaker. Shake it up. Here we go. Where are you? Okay, we have a grasshopper. I'm so nervous to drink it. It's not going to taste good. It's so minty. But it kind of is like a melted shamrock shake. Whew. Now we're having fun. Let's go check on the pie. All right, it's been 4.5 hours or so. Our grasshopper pie is completely frozen. I'm just gonna do a quick little decoration, which appears to be more crumb from the chocolate crackers, kind of in a circle, so I'm gonna do that. Don't know how, ooh, I already it up. I was about to say I don't know how neat and tidy I'll be with this. Let's cut ourselves a slice of this grasshopper pie. Okay, that knife went in a lot smoother than I thought it was gonna be. I was imagining like ice cream levels of frozen, but it is fluffy. Oh, I didn't get the crust. That crust was questionable to begin with. It was very chunky. All right, let's dig in. not surprisingly, very similar to the Grasshopper cocktail. It is a more like well-balanced, like creamy, chocolatey with like a hint of mint, whereas the cocktail was like straight up mint, like mouthwash mint. Whereas this gives you like, you know, junior mint vibes, peppermint patty vibes, York peppermints. Like it's more subtle, it's more balanced. I'm enjoying this. This was really fun. I think the crust, something about the crust could be improved so that it's not as crumbly. And maybe I didn't break up the crumbs enough. Maybe I didn't use enough butter. But that's really the only downside. I think that the filling itself is really great. Yum, I'm excited. This is good. All right, Grasshopper Pie. I really enjoyed it. It was like very light, very fluffy. The mint was like just the right amount of mint. It is like a little boozy. Like you can taste the alcohol in it, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Overall, very impressed. Just like, I wish the crust was a little bit better, less crumbly, but that's my fault. So I think I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 red spoons. Another 5 out of 5. This is a perfect dessert. I would make this dessert again, like hands down. And I feel like we're not talking about Grasshopper Pie enough, or grasshoppers. We need to bring them back. All right, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, happy homemaking.